you look around the league, there's a lot of teams, in the hunt. We're in the hunt. You sit here and you say, hey, Thanksgiving, and close to the end of November, and we're in the hunt. When you sit around that table tomorrow, you're saying we're in the hunt. And there's a lot of teams that wish they were in the hunt. Well, we're in the hunt.
That football game was like when you cut your knee and your mom's like, it's not that bad, stop crying. And then like 2 seconds later, you're like, oh, that was fun. I want to cut my knee again on everything. I'm going to go jump into a pile of glass because it was not bad. It's the In the Hunt cast. Sorry for talking. That's Kyle Turner. Sean Murphy's going to talk too and say something dumb.
The beginning of that analogy, I was like, I don't fucking get it. I gave up on it already. Much like that football game, I was like, this is his worst one yet, and I'm gonna let him fucking know it. See, and then it turned out to be good.
It was perfect. It was the absolute best thing that anyone's ever said about anything. Just like the Bills playing football.
The Bills are really good.
Yeah, I'm still not there, but they had a good game.
I've never, let me say this. I've never felt this way. Right. As the kids would say, I'm feeling some type of way, and I've never felt it. So I don't know how I'm supposed to feel. Yeah. But I think it's good.
Kyle, it sounds like a Journey song. So he's been hurt before.
I'm pretty hopped up. I took a laxative earlier, so I'm pretty excited.
This is all new. It's new territory for us. We don't know.
We don't even. Our name sucks. We're in the like. There's an 8-year-old right now listening to our podcast. Like, what the fuck are these guys' problems? And why do they swear so much? Like, it's In the Hunt cast. The Bills make the playoffs every year. They're the best team in the NFL. The Chiefs.
I hope there's an 8-year-old that listens to us, and then he's talking to his other 8-year-old friends, and he's like, "My boner play of the game is when," and they're like, "What's a boner?" And he's like, "I don't know."
Yeah, it's a good football play. And then and then prom night, his date's gonna be like, "You have a boner?" And he's gonna be like, "Yeah, I really like when Diggs caught that pass over the middle." We're gonna ruin lives here. Let's do it. Let's do boner play. It's the Teron Johnson interception. Like, holy shit, that just it did not expect that the game was. We were losing that football game until that play.
And there's nothing I love better than a pick down player turning the narrative around. And what giant plays from Teron Johnson, Levi Wallace. I mean, I was waiting for that big Lee Smith 90-yard scamper. I mean, everything was open this game.
Yeah.
I'm going whole defense. It's insane. Milano's still playing about maybe half. I have to, watch the all 22 again. I've watched it since the game ended, but I'll watch it again soon after.
I saw a lot of plays he wasn't in. So
yeah, I saw him not. I would say he's playing about half, and it's just so crazy that like the same players are now playing good. Like 14 games into the season or 13 games, whatever it is, and now the defense is like, hell yeah, oh yeah. Football, that's fun. It's the same players.
So I watched last week them lose to Washington. It was almost like as soon as that game started, I was like, oh, Pittsburgh's going to lose this game, and that sucks because I wanted them to beat Washington and be overconfident going into the Bills game. I don't know how that works, but watching that game, and then everything was going wrong. Like the Steelers dropped 6. I thought they said 6 tonight's broadcast. I thought it was 8. But they dropped every pass, and I was like, oh, this sucks because the Steelers are having their shit game this week. Like everyone has the game in Tecmo Super Bowl where the computer's just like, no, you're not winning this game. Like that's what the Steelers had last week. And then to have Deontay Johnson, like drop those 2 passes right at the bat, it's like, what is going on? Like, I was just losing my mind.
So I saw on Twitter, looking for the tweet of the game, and a lot of Steelers fans are also yelling about the dropped passes and everything. But it's not a good excuse. It's like using the excuse we would have beat you if we had a good quarterback. You know what I mean? Like you can say the same fucking thing. It's a dropped pass.
Those 2 notable drops. It's not like they were 20-yard bombs to a wide open guy. They were like 4-yard routes. I mean, they would have helped, but it's not like I don't know how much of a game changers they were.
Oh, they were huge like that. I mean, it matters. Like when the Bills lost to Tennessee, Andre Roberts dropped a first down pass on it was the first or second drive. It was just like a stupid drop that would have been like a 20-yard gain. And it just, everything fell apart after that. And I don't know if the psyche of the Steelers were broken by 2 drop passes, but it can't help. They dropped 6 of them last week. Like, they were a broken team in the first half.
I don't know if you listen to the commentators, but the Steelers never break. The
No.
Steelers, the Steelers love to play tough football. Other teams famously hate tackling and blocking. The Steelers love it. That's what they do every game.
They just love football. They just love football.
My favorite was at the end of the game. It's like, "No, the Bills are really playing like the Steelers. They get a lead, they're running the ball." I'm like, every team does that. Every single team does that.
I don't know, not like the Steelers do it though.
The Steelers do it different because they're actually in black and gold. So that's how they do it a little different.
A little different.
Idiot.
It was hysterical. Why do you think the NFL loves the Steelers? Is it the nostalgic kind of like they've been here forever? We like talking about them. They've never, as far back as I can remember, they've never truly been like terrible. I don't know what they were in the 80s or even, the 90s, but like, is that why? Like, what is the fascination with this team?
They're almost been like a more consistent Cowboys. Like, the Cowboys get all their love there, and there's that big story. They were flexed out of that national game for the first time in X amount of years. But like Dallas has been under, below average for a while now. Whereas Pittsburgh, always seems to be like they have a competitive team for the most part.
They've had 3 coaches in the history of their team. Like, they're always good to a certain extent. They're never like worse than 8-8, like for the most part good. So I get it. And when they've been good, they've been like the 70s Steelers set the tone. And I think that's where all the talking point comes from. But the 80s Steelers are kind of shitty the entire time. But I don't know. Like, it's just one of those talking points that announcers glom onto. I mean, you watch a game, they'll talk about how good the Jaguars are. So announcers just need something
to talk about. But nothing better than beating the Steelers, a team I hate, on national television back-to-back years. What a joy.
I don't even know what to say.
There's nothing to say.
I did not think they're going to win this game.
I'm just expressing happiness. And that's all.
No, it's
I'm not comfortable with that. I'm not.
It was you again, though. What I noticed on Twitter is you could already tell the people were other people, not us so much, not the Bills Mafia, if you will, but other people. It's just funny how they already are like, the Steelers were nothing. The Steelers are down there four starting linebackers. It's like people are already making excuses for why the Bills suck. And it just makes listen, I'm the biggest critic of the Bills.
I mean, you're a real piece of shit. I'm going to say it right now.
Pretty big. And it's just like, Jesus Christ, it's not like the Bills were like, hey, we want to play the Steelers, but not with their linebackers. Can we get those guys? It's not the fucking Bills. They've beat the teams they're supposed to beat. You know what I mean? Like,
I think one of the guys I follow on Twitter and used to work with him, Andrew Filipponi, is a big talk show host in Pittsburgh, and he's very opinionated, and he has basically pointed out flaws in the team a lot. Like, he's kind of like a realist. He's not a rah-rah type guy.
Pittsburgh or Buffalo?
Pittsburgh. So like, he's been talking about like the Steelers are going to lose this game basically, and they're not as good as an undefeated record. So like, I see a little of that, and it makes sense. And I don't think he's an overly dramatic person. So I think there's a lot of it out there. And I really think with this league, like, no one's ever, the Bills got their ass kicked by Tennessee, but like, Tennessee will lose games, and there's a lot more parity than you think.
I mean, and we should start like Diggs had a great game. I mean, Kyle, who stood out for you on the All 22? You mentioned that you
doesn't watch the All 22.
You watched it twice already. So I mean, was there anyone
Goodell
that like
texted me the tape? I got him. I got his number. It's
text
718.
I like that he texts.
He texts me the film.
He doesn't email you. He doesn't send you a link. He texts you the All 22. It's perfect.
Hey Kyle, here's the film for your All 22.
Thanks for the Bills dough. Love being a Patreon.
Who stood out, Kyle?
Let's go with Zach Moss. It's fun
Ooh.
watching that guy run.
I didn't expect this.
He bounces around.
Wait,
he bounces around. He hits holes.
Did you hear that
and
boat horn?
You could.
Oh,
No.
I didn't hear.
Is there a boat horn?
No.
Oh, hold on.
Why? We were having.
I'll play it again.
Do you want me to start over so I'm more interrupted?
No, that's fine.
We were having such a good cast.
No,
Who's
but this is
A good few weeks.
well, listen, we get, when I get these alerts from Goodell, these come from Goodell. A lot of people don't know that.
The league office.
I mean, we got a segment that needs to be played. So here's Sean too.
Oh, we back, baby. We back with everybody's favorite segment,
What?
a Bortles Reportals.
What?
And it's been a while since I've updated you on what Robbie Blake Bortles has been up to. So let me just give you a little fun rundown. Guy recently signed to the Denver Broncos practice squad, where he's been tearing it up. Coach has been saying that he looks like a fresh and rejuvenated Dante Culpepper. Dude might actually be, hang on, looks like he actually tested positive for COVID because he's a mouth breather and he was not practicing social distancing.
Is he boat hoarding his own boat horn?
Guys, this is unprecedented, but mid-reporters, we're going to switch it up. Welcome to everybody's new favorite segment, Winton with Hinton, focusing on the future of the NFL. Kendall Hinton, I think he might be the next big thing. Wake Forest backup quarterback back in the day, threw for like 9 yards recently, I believe. Yeah, fucking Blake Bortles can fuck off. One game started, one completion, and he's 1 of 9. 13 yards. Fuck. This guy is going to be a superstar. You heard it here first, guys. Winton with Hinton, get on the train. Happy Hanukkah. I was going to say boat, but that wouldn't be right. That's it. I love you.
Yeah,
So
I want
Sean know he was a practice squad wide receiver that got thrown into play quarterback?
I want to take this time to wish our Jewish listeners a happy Hanukkah.
That's right.
Good. Yes.
Yeah.
That's who the Bills play next. So can I segue? Can I do a segue?
You can do a little
I mean,
segue.
we might have to segue back.
Yeah, well, no. Well, this is all about the excitement of the Bills Steelers win. Like the Bills win over the Steelers. There's 3 games left. The Bills play the Broncos, Patriots, and Dolphins, and the Broncos are dog shit. The Patriots may be giving up, and the Dolphins, who knows? They'll need that game, so that game will be tough. But the Steelers play the Bengals, Colts, and Browns. Colts and Browns are going to be 2 tough games. So I'm just saying, if you win out and the Steelers lose one of those, now you're the top seed of the non-top seeds. Like you get the worst playoff team in the playoffs.
Okay.
Oh.
I get what you're saying.
And if the Chiefs lose out, like whatever, but that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
I found something interesting online, looking for a key to the game for next week, and then I found this thing about Pittsburgh. Check this out. So, you ever hear the term yinzer?
No.
Yinzer.
I hope it's not what I hope it's okay to say.
It is. It's
Okay.
fine. Yinzer,
I don't trust you.
This is Wikipedia, by the way.
Okay.
Yinzer is a 20th century term playing on the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania second person plural vernacular yins. The word is used among people who identify themselves with the city of Pittsburgh and its traditions. They're called yinzers.
No.
Why? What is that? What the fuck is a yinzer? What a city of a bunch of fucking idiots.
Wow. I like Pittsburgh. I love visiting that city. But
Okay, well then you go be a yinzer.
Maybe I will, tough guy. Maybe I'll go be a yinzer.
You know, I took a big yinzer just now. Once this laxative kicks in, I'll take a yinzer right on your chest. Right?
No one knew going into this podcast that you had just taken a laxative. That's a hell of a way to drop that on them.
It's my Sunday tradition.
Yeah.
Take a nice little laxative.
It does. It makes your week start great. Do we want to talk about how dog shit Josh Allen was in the first half and then
Oh.
he was going into the third quarter, and he was amazing in the third quarter.
Yeah, great third
Like,
quarter for
like-
the first time like all season.
Yeah.
Third quarter. Don't shake your head at me. Don't fucking shake your head at me until I'm done with my point.
That's what made me nervous the most in that first half was not the Bills losing. It was just getting ready for everyone outside of Buffalo to be like, told you this team sucks. That's what pissed me off about that first half. I wasn't nervous about the Bills losing at halftime or before even the pick six. I was just like, fuck, man, I felt like this was our chance to really fucking show out, even more so than last Monday. And the first half went the way it did, and it was just kind of like, fuck, no matter what happens, unless Allen throws for 400 yards in the second half, there's going to be these fucking yinzers behind these fucking yin babies, and they're going to be fucking yelling and yapping about how they knew the Bills weren't that good anyways.
But he looked great in the second half. Diggs was
Looked
all over
great.
the place. And
when they play up to this, when they play up to their potential, the Bills, that offense is, I mean, it's 1B to Kansas City's 1A. It's right up there with the best in the absolute.
And that's Kyle saying that.
Wow.
And that's why I was so mad when they don't play up to that potential.
Well,
Did you take a weed laxative?
No, I did heroin.
Here's two comments I want to get to on the game. One is that I kind of knew we were going to win when Tomlin started coaching like Dick Duran. He had two just insanely cowardly punts within like the first quarter-ish. And I was like, oh, I think we're going to win. He's coaching to lose. And he's coaching scared. I think we got this. And number two is, I mean, I feel like Kyle has to hate. I feel like he hates. Well, I mean, he hates a lot, but because he's a psycho. But I feel like he. I mean, are you going after Dawson Knox after that?
Oh, caught him. Caught him. I said, this is what I said. I said, Tyler Kroft was inactive. I was like, they're both tall white guys. Just put Kroft in a Knox jersey. Send them fucking out there.
At halftime, they could have done that. They could have gave Kroft Knox's jersey.
That's what I was like. That's not out of the realm of things that could happen.
It's like when we put an episode up on YouTube, people are like, why did they just copy and paste the three people in three different boxes? It's the same. It's the same tall white guy.
It was the thing with Knox as always, he's uber athletic, but like he's just not putting it together. And it's now second season, and maybe he's a good backup athletic guy, but I mean he's just not getting it done. So you got to move on. I mean, that's an off-season episode. You can't move on from him right now, but maybe stop having Kroft being active.
We'll see. Maybe he'll turn it around. You never know.
Yeah.
The defense did it. Before anything else on the game before we kind of
I have a tweet of the game.
Oh yes.
Yeah, we've been waiting. Let me search the poor soul that's gonna get the wrath of Kyle.
Okay, this guy's name is very original. It's Tony Montana. He's I kind of like this one. It's at AKA Mr. Salty. I like that. That's a fun one.
That's fun.
He put, I was wrong about Diggs. He's a legit number one wide receiver. I always thought playing with Adam Thielen hid his flaws. Diggs has been twice as good as I advertised, much like chicken nuggets. That's a lot to digest. But is he the only guy who was like, nah, I think that guy's good because Adam Thielen's good.
I think with guys like Andre Hopkins and like these super tall, fast, freak human beings, like Stephon Diggs doesn't look as dominating as that. He does everything so effortlessly. I can see someone not thinking he's a number one.
He reminds me of, like, not that I watch much of this, don't dog me. He reminds me
the
of
Gilmore
like
Girls.
I like the Gilmore. I'll go to bat for the Gilmore Girls right now.
He reminds me of kind of like an ice skater. On the field, like he doesn't
keep talking.
He's not a bulldozer. He's very fluid. when he lands, it's not, it's very like,
It's
falls.
graceful. He's
He's very graceful. That's what I noticed. I've noticed throughout the season. Beasley and Diggs do not take hits. I don't know if they're ever tackled. I think they choose when they get tackled.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, this guy, I'm just going to kind of let him tackle me.
They have the force like Obi-Wan who chose to die by Darth Vader's blade so he could talk to Luke.
Speaking, I did want to bring this up. I had this in my notes too. That Levi Wallace interception.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see him running back? Like the pick? Boy, did it look like he did not want to return that interception at all. When he was running back, it looked like he was going, blow the whistle. I don't want this.
It seems like the Steelers were the same way. Like 2 minutes ago, it's like the Steelers never give up. And I was watching that return. I'm like, no one is even playing this return.
Go ahead.
Well, with the way the NFL is this year, like a lot of the big plays are kind of like that. Like, I don't know, like when the Steelers scored their first touchdown, I was just like, oh, did it get called back? Because like the fake crowd noise, it takes a beat where the real crowd is on top of it and swells and gets loud. So like that interception happened, and it's almost like I never think a play actually existed because it's almost like he's looking around like, why isn't anyone cheering? I just intercepted the ball. Like, I guess I'll run it back.
It looked like to me like everyone kind of thought there was going to be a flag on the play. And they were like, well, I don't want to waste too much energy running this ball back and hitting this guy. So it's just like, well, we'll just kind of go with it. And then everyone was like, well, I guess we still have to get him down.
And I also want to bring this up before we move on. Maybe I'm wrong about this. You guys, will let me know.
Well, good chance.
But like when they kept hyping that Juju Smith-Schuster into Edmonds, I'm like, yeah, but it's not like he ran into him and then fell down like if I ran into a brick wall and fell down, it'd be like, whoa, look at Sean going the brick wall won. Like I just don't I kind of don't I mean I guess I give him credit for going into him, but it's almost like Kyle was saying with Diggs. It's like Diggs seems very smart and he's like, I'm not gonna get destroyed here if I don't have to.
Well, I think that was a product of them having to talk about Smith Schuster because of him dancing on the logo before the game. So.
Yes.
Yeah. And also it gives them time to brag about Mike Tomlin and his toughness.
Yeah.
If Juju doesn't run over him, how do you talk about toughness?
Well, that is just Steelers football. Like that. I mean, you got to give it up for the Steelers football.
There's 31 teams in the NFL and only one of them play football.
See, this is when you're not
Steelers.
Maybe this is because I'm not good at sports, but I never talk shit because in order to talk shit, you have to be good at everything for the rest of your life and never have a down moment. Because when someone talks shit back to you, it hurts so bad. Like if you talk shit, like I used to play floor hockey like 5 nights a week and I never talk shit because if someone talks shit to me and like you just walk by them and look at them knowing they talk shit when your team wins, like that has to feel like you cannot talk shit unless you have like the memory, like a no long-term memory. Like, and that had to feel really good for the Bills to just like do the old point at the scoreboard thing after the game.
Whenever I play sports, I'm always like, hey guys, I suck. Remember, I suck. And then I do anything. I'm like, yeah, touchdown pass. I was lucky though. Pretty cool though, right? Like
the quarterback really just put it in there perfectly. So.
Okay, before we get to the question game, we got a couple things to get to. Some news and notes. We want to talk about the Patreon a little bit. We want to thank everyone. We had way more people sign up than we thought they would.
It's almost giving me stress.
Yes.
I have to deliver.
So thank everyone for the support. We have a great episode dropping in a couple days, over an hour, and all the new Patreon episodes will have a new ending song done by my friend Tom Connect. So that's a little bonus.
I never even heard this. They'll be able to hear it before I do because I don't listen to the episodes, so I'll never hear it. So that's a bonus to you.
And the episode we have planned for January 1st is going to be super funny. This already making me laugh. And I also want to bring up, Greg mentioned he would give each of us $60 if a woman reached out and said they listen.
60? I thought it was two.
No, that was if they were Patreons.
That's for the Patreons.
Oh, okay.
So 60, and Steph reached out on Twitter to say that she listens.
Okay, so $60 each of you. Have a nice little Merry Christmas. I swear to God. I'm a man of my word. So, Stephanie, I don't know how you guys found a woman to listen to the podcast. I'm glad. I know it wasn't naturally, because who would see our faces and want to hear us talk?
I
But
think
she
that's
did.
the thing. They don't see our faces.
Yeah, that's good. It's good that it's radio. Oh, show us the clips online. No.
And I also want to then bring up, as Kyle mentioned, Greg said he would give us $240 each if a woman signed up for the Patreon, and so far no woman has signed up for the
Come
Patreon.
on,
So
Steph.
I'm gonna give you the rest of the week because no one's listening to this podcast. It's too late.
Well,
So
you know, I'll juice it up a little bit. If you're a woman and you sign up for the Patreon, I'm gonna Venmo you $10.
no, you can't do that. There's no
Why
deal.
not?
No,
Why not?
no. It's because I'm giving you $240.
Well, you don't gotta give me that. I just think it's funny to entice people with like, because they could join up for the $1 a month tier and we could give them
Yeah.
we could lose money, but I still think it's a funny idea.
I will say this: you're getting I am kicking, like I'm working hard on those blogs. So you get, like, for $1 a month, you get a blog every week, and it's quality stuff. This week's is going to be good too. So
Yeah,
you
and
know,
I'm
if you
working
wanna do
hard
that,
on dildos, and they're
you have
tough.
to.
They are not as easy as I once thought.
So if you're a woman, sign up for the Patreon. I'll Venmo you $10.
I don't like this at all. I don't like anything. I definitely don't like the Bills Doe thing. I'm so against everything. All right, is that it?
Oh, and
We're done with the
and
podcast?
quickly, just last to wrap up there, the
Midnight.
we did this. We did have someone get our Joe B tier, which is insane. Steve Campaign, regular listener, and as mentioned, every episode he gets kind of like a blurb to say in the episode.
That's every episode.
Every episode, and for this episode, he wants to remind Kyle that Army beat Navy, and that you're inadequate.
I like this Steve Campaign guy.
I don't think this should be every episode.
I mean, so far it's 1 for 1, so
That's
I mean,
right.
I don't see why not.
Yeah.
Well, the Army can't get to other countries without the Navy. How's that sound? They can't.
Yeah.
All the soldiers
Yeah.
can't swim.
Unless, of course, they use the Air Force, but you know,
The
They
Air
have a
Force
loophole.
stinks.
yeah, the Air Force stinks. Oh,
All
they're
right,
all.
You know
I'm
the
proud of all of
Navy.
our-
You know the Navy has more planes than the Air Force. Why even exist at that point? Air Force, you
Our-
suck.
But they're all those planes, the seaplanes. Like all the Navy planes have those two canoes on the bottom. They're all the Navy planes. They're all canoe planes, like the ones
Like a-
Indiana
yeah.
Jones.
That's great. They can only take 2 people at a time.
They're so easy to shoot them down when they're over enemy territory.
They
Big
only
fucking
fly
canoe planes
15
flying by.
feet above
What
the
country's
water.
afraid of that? And then when they got attacked, they got to like circle around the land. Like, hold on, we're going to attack you.
Hey, stay there.
And then we have to swim to shore. I'm coming to attack. Doggy paddling to shore. Yeah, stupid Navy.
Okay, question game.
Yes.
On the line today, we got a fresh one. We got Derek Anderson.
Quarterback extreme.
Yeah, and I didn't know this. He made a Pro Bowl with the Browns, which I forgot about. And according to Wikipedia, keeps in regular contact with Josh Allen. He was his first veteran backup QB in the NFL.
He was a quarterback for the worst game of all time, the Bills-Cleveland game that ended 8-2.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
8-2, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah,
10-2, whatever.
something like that.
I'll
6-3
stop
maybe.
talking so we
Something.
can do.
Okay.
Let's go to bed. Let's stop.
Okay, here we go.
Podcast.
Question 1 will start with Greg. Greg,
Mm.
what number is higher, the rushing yards of UB's Jarrett Patterson, in 5 games, or the rushing yards of all the Bills combined in 12 games?
12 games.
So not including tonight.
I'm going. Oh, not including tonight.
Not including tonight.
I'm going to go Patterson.
All right. Patterson in 5 over Bills in 12. Kyle, what do you say?
The Bills rushing team, not just the running backs.
Yeah, all Bills rushing yards.
Man.
See, I didn't. I'm not going to change my answer, but I didn't think about that. I thought just running backs, but okay.
I'll go Bills.
Yeah, Bills, probably Bills with Allen.
It is Bills, but man, is it close. Bills 1229 and Patterson 1025.
No, he's going to go in like the first round of the NFL.
It's
That's
very
gonna be
possible.
incredible.
I mean, that UBT, I don't know if you guys got a chance to watch any of those games. Ranked for the first time ever. None of their games have been even close. They just stomp. They're averaging 52 points a game. It's
They're
nuts.
averaging winning by 30 points a
Yeah.
game. And I was like, this is how spoiled. Like he ran for 300 and then 400. And I didn't get a chance to listen to this past game, but I looked at the box score and I was all upset because he only had like 100 something yards and 2 TDs. And I was like, oh, they didn't even put him on the field. Like,
Well, he rested the second half. They were up by so
Yeah.
much. He only played the first half.
and they had like 3 guys get over 100 yards.
Yeah, it's utterly insane. Okay, Kyle, question 2, starting with you. What number is higher, Steelers Super Bowl victories or Trent Edwards jersey number?
Fuck. What is that idiot's number?
Sure, is a very nice.
Super Bowls for the Steelers.
Super Bowl. Greg.
I've tied it up. It's going to be the Trent Edwards number.
It is not. Super
What?
Bowl.
They have 6 Super Bowls?
Yeah.
Super Bowls, and Trent Edwards jersey number is 5.
I know what number he is.
I knew he was 5.
Oh, okay. Well,
I was going back and forth between 7 and 5.
Well, this last question doesn't mean anything, but we'll still
Kyle is
do
the
it.
brains of the podcast, so I'll bow
We'll-
down to him on this.
We'll still do it for fun.
Thanks
so
to the
start,
Navy.
We'll start with you, Kyle. Which one of the following names did not play in today's game? Is it A, Chris Boswell, B, Tigray Scales, C, Derek Watt, or D, Gosnell Duncan?
What was C?
Derek Watt.
Derek Watt.
No, I'm already losing by 2, so I'm going to say Goswell Duncan, but I think it's Watt.
It is Gosnell Duncan.
Is
Oh
okay. I
my.
didn't
So,
see Derek Watt play.
Chris Boswell is the
How many
kicker.
Watts?
Tigray Scales is the linebacker. Derek Watt is the fullback. And Gosnell Duncan is the person largely responsible for inventing the silicone dildo.
Wow, look at that, Kyle. You should know that.
Yeah, well,
he's
he should
he's your
have.
mentor.
He should have included instructions on how to paint it.
He should have signed each one, like in his own name, like in a vein. Like he could have made his name. Oh, this is gross. Could edit that out. That was terrible.
I'm gonna edit the volume up.
You're gonna make it so that's the first thing said on the podcast.
Do you, for the people expecting the Bills do you have a estimated? What's your progress report?
No estimation right now.
So with COVID shipments, things are taking longer. So
Yeah.
That is
that's
true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kyle's still slaving away on those dildos,
Yeah.
so don't.
I'm
you
working.
worry.
I got literally got one next to me, and it's gonna be a second.
All right. Well, the Bills are good. Everyone's happy. We got a Saturday afternoon game
That's crazy.
coming up against the Denver Broncos. Should beat them. Not a great team, but we can't take teams like this lightly. So we need a key to the game.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. First off, let me
It is
say
tough. You do the podcast every week, so
That
it's
is
tough
true.
to remember.
I will say, Lou texted me and said that the lines opened up already, and the Broncos are favored by 1.
No.
That was before the Bills game was over. So
Wow.
I don't imagine it changing half an hour later. They usually don't. I mean, I don't know lines at all.
They are 5-8, and they played a game with a practice squad wide receiver as their quarterback. So like they're
But
They're
5 and
not-
8's also not good. Hear me out.
well, but it would be but they've won 5 games with, so they're not whatever. Shut up.
Okay, well here's how I think the best way to beat the Denver Broncos. Obviously, hot-handed quarterback there. They call him Little Josh Allen, Drew Lock.
Mm.
Ever hear of him? Big, strong arm, right?
Mhm.
Inaccurate. He hasn't taken the step forward that Josh Allen did. Okay. But have you ever seen this kid's face? Drew Lock? Greg, Google Drew Lock.
I'm on them.
Doesn't he look his face? Doesn't it he looks like he's crying while taking a shit.
He does.
Right? Isn't
He
that
does.
spot on?
He does kind of look like he's crying. I can't believe how well you did with that.
It's funny. He doesn't look like he's just crying, and he doesn't look like he's just taking a shit. He looks like he's doing both at the same time.
Like he just got dumped by his girlfriend, and
Yeah.
he's got a lot of peanuts in his shit. Like it's really like it hurts. It really hurts.
It looks like he got a really sad phone call
God.
while having diarrhea.
Yeah.
Grandma died? What? Oh, I just.
I hate you
This
so
episode
much.
should be on Patreon just for that, right there. Anyway, so here's what you do: you get a very good
Mirror.
what do they call it? Special effects guy.
He just hold up a mirror at the line of scrimmage. He's like, I look like that.
I think you get like one of those guys at the mall that does the airbrush on the t-shirts, and you get him to airbrush Drew Lock taking a shit on a toilet while crying, and everyone wears it to the game.
I see on the airbrush t-shirt the shitting, crying Drew Lock is holding a phone, and there's a little thought bubble that comes out of it that says "Grandma died" as he's sitting on an airbrush toilet. This is the worst thing ever.
Oh man, when I wrote that key to the game like an hour ago, I was like, I could do better, and I don't think I can.
No,
I think
it's
that's as good
perfect.
as it gets.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's no way they lose now.
Yeah.
All right, if they get those airbrush shirts, I don't know if those guys are still there with the pandemic, but
Yeah. Well, they can. It's a billion-dollar industry. They can afford an airbrush machine and an artist. They'll just go to Darien Lake. Those people are all looking for something to do this winter.
get a caricature.
Caricature. That's what those airbrush artists do. It's all caricatures.
I
Oh my
think
God.
Bills win 31-10 based off Kyle's idea.
I think that they regress a little because they are a football team, and it's going to be. I'm going to say it's going to be 16-10.
Now, Lou said, I
Here we
quote,
This is
it's
the second time you've referenced him
I
like
know,
he's the
geez.
fucking like the Library of Congress or something.
First
the
off,
only
we've
person-
never referenced the Library of Congress.
No, that's what.
Lou's the only person he talks to other than his girlfriend. I could just see him. Mary's like, so do you want to have Chinese for dinner? Lou said that Chinese is not good for you.
All I'm saying before I pick my score is I find it interesting that Vegas is favoring the Broncos, even though they're a worse team. And Lou said according to him, it's the epitome of a trap game. Ever hear of it? Trap game?
Okay.
Yeah.
Rap. Anyways, I think he's right. I think Vegas is right. Vegas can only be wrong so much on the Bills. They hate the Bills. And the Bills constantly lose Vegas money. Okay? And eventually it's going to come back to bite the Bills. And I think it does this week. I think this was a big win. I think it's an emotional win. And I think it carries into next week's game. They have, like Greg said, a little bit of a shit the bed. And I think they lose 24-18.
Okay.
Mm.
But you know,
That's a downer.
big Miami loss today. The division, it's looking like the first time we're gonna win the division since '95. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but it's looking pretty good, and that's
We
Guys,
don't
we're-
talk about the good stuff on this podcast, Sean.
But we're-
Shut up.
but we're doing it. We're responsible. I mean, look at what this podcast has done.
If
I think they have to lose all 3 games in order to not win the division at this point.
if
With 2 games up with 3 games left. So
who is it? If Baltimore
yeah,
loses,
if Baltimore
tomorrow,
loses, the Bills clinch a playoff.
the Bills clinch, and then you could rest everyone for 3 straight games.
Well, you wouldn't. They clinch a playoff berth. They don't clinch the division. You want to be as high up as possible.
Ah,
Okay, that's a good point too. It's a good counterpoint. The Navy really taught you negotiation well.
sign up for the Patreon.
Yeah. All right. And the game is, instead of waiting extra long like we had to today, the game is like tomorrow. So that's good. All right,
Yeah.
that's fucking. It's 12:30 at night.
Okay,
Shut up.
I agree with you. Just thanks for listening.
tired.
Go
All right, thank you.
subscribe
Sincerely.
to YouTube, rate us on iTunes and
You're such a little bitch. You
Patreon.
do this at the end of
I
every
know
episode.
I do because I see
Yeah.
it in your eyes. I see how
Oh.
it destroys
You're
you.
dropping the girl off, and can I call you tomorrow? Can I get a hug? Oh, did you have a good time? Are you sure? I'm sorry the movie wasn't that great. Oh,
Is that
you don't
not
have to
what you're
call if you don't
supposed
want
to do?
I don't know. I have absolutely no idea. I can't believe that I have a woman that I sleep in the same bed with
Greg-
sometimes. So
Greg goes on a date and he's like, "Well, we're done, broad. Get the fuck
that's
out of
right.
here.
Get out of the car. I'm going to bed.
Movie
I don't even wanna
sucked.
be
Your
on this
fault.
date."
Get out."
I wish that those guys get the ladies.
I don't
You
know
act like
about
you
that,
don't like
Greg.
women. I
Greg,
think they
I don't
do.
know about that.
I don't know. Ask any woman out there. You act like you treat them like dog shit. They love that. They love that shit. Don't listen to me. I'm not
We'll
serious.
ask Steph. She's the only girl we know.
That's right. Yes, we need a segment with Steph to find out what the hell we're talking about. Okay, shut up, Sweeto. One
Sweeto.
love. The Bills are awesome. One love.
The Bills won.